The Vampire's Promised Bride. That's JM Snap. JM Snaps just keep snapping off. So this was a good one. It didn't start off too slow. We've got the treaty. Remember, for the Demon War, Wyatt and Freya went into a treaty with the vampires. Thinking about things that I liked, I didn't like that Lucy. I didn't like that she decided to just go in there to be with herself. But as a writer, you create the world, you create the universe, and you got to make it make sense, right? So the author made it make sense, circumstantial, right? She decided to go off on her own. It basically, I ain't gonna lie, at the beginning it kind of was a little slow because I was like, okay, so where we going with this? But then when she did that and got caught on purpose, then it was just kind of like, okay, then so now what? And then she was sitting there with the rest of the other vampires who said that they got caught on purpose. Then she broke them out and ended up helping them. They helped her. My bad. They helped her because in the midst she was liking, and you find out she's a liking. You're like, how's she a liking? Everybody else a werewolf. But anyway, I digress. We'll get to that. But she helps them out in her liking form, but still gets hit in a bad way by the Vervain and the Silver. The Silver doesn't bother her. That's how she ended up helping them get out, but the Vervain did. Now, I'm going to be honest. I learned something new, kind of. I've never heard of Vervain being something that's against vampires. I mean, I feel like I get to look this up some sort of way. But anyway, they take her to their lair, the vampires, their secret lair. It turns out, they're a part of the elite force of the vampires. And then the person that's over it, whose name is Ryan, we find out in the middle of that was her mate. He's like, we're mates. And she's like, no, I'm in this treaty with the prince. I can't do that even though we're mates. Like, dang, now I gotta reject you. Blah, blah, diddy-da-da, I gotta reject you. That's, wow. So she goes through all this agony only to find out that he was the prince all along, and that was the stand-in, and she was getting her feelings hurt for nothing, and she was mad, and all this, that, and the other. It was all crazy. Only because everybody was looking for herself, because she decided, I'm gonna run out and see what's going on, because, you know, a werewolf, whatever, from somewhere got attacked. So I ain't got time to play with that. My phone was tripping. So anyway, we find out that you know, he was really the prince, and we move on from there. Run into her parents because they thought one of the little fairy messengers said, hey, your family getting attacked, but it wasn't so. We all get together, whatever. So now, you know, we get the parents, they come through, they get to talking and find out what's up, what other intel the vampires had, start making some plans, and say, listen, we're going to have to take her over there to the vampire. Now, look here, she done went through all of that, only to say, okay, now we about to go over there to the dragons. Then she go over there to the dragons. The way that JM writes these dragons is always wild, so whatever. So she get to see her cousin and them or whatever for a brief second. Her and her brother. This was a long book. I'm trying to remember some stuff. Nah, I done got a little fuzzy. I was trying to hurry up and do it today, but it's a little fuzzy. I don't want to have to go back because I got other stuff I'm reading, but they came back. She decided she wanted to go and be with her cousins for a brief second. But what had happened was, because what happened was she ran into some chick that was lying and saying that Horion, who was really the prince, was really her fling-a-ding-ding. And she had already talked to him about that. She ran into like a little secret clearing. Then she ended up running into Abaddon or whatever, who was the demon that was like plaguing them for a while, but got killed in the other book by Rhea and them. So, yeah, I told you something. So, he ended up really now just being a contracted soul, which is interesting, right? A contracted soul for the vampires. She also ended up figuring out what the heck was going on with Jasper, because Jasper was just out of control at times, and she just didn't know that he was out of control, but everybody else knew he was out of control, especially in the with the vampires. They was like, this dude out of control. They'd be scared like a mom. Like, he'd be like, what's up? What it do? Shout it. You know? And then it would be to the prince and to Lucy, he'd be like, oh no, everything is fine. Are you okay? Are you hurt? What must I do for you? Okay. And then if somebody did something that wasn't right, he'd be like, what's up? What's up? What y'all want to do? And then and then according to everybody else, he ain't gonna maim you. You're gone. Well, she ain't know nothing about that, so she found out like, okay, there's no news. You know what I'm saying? She found out about some banshee mirror energy that go in between the walls, and that's contracted out to the vampires and helping them. Excuse me. Ooh, child. It's been a long day. Then she found out about Abaddon, and then she wanted to help Jasper and Abaddon. Now we getting into this Jinn energy. I like how these books be taking a chance. They just throw it out there. You know what I mean? So now we just go get into the Jinn energy. That's just some random ass damn Jinn. Okay? You can tell people just randomly get into shit paranormally. So now they're gonna go in, and now they got a Jinn that they're working with as a family. And so they working with this Jinn energy. And the Jinn, I mean, that's cool. So she find out what to do with the Jinn, make it hers, read the book, you'll find out. We just basically took the Jinn from Jasper. I'm gonna tell you, Jinn was a Jasper. Took the Jinn from Jasper because that was like a little thing that they did for a family, whatever, as a rough family, for some sort of protection that you're gonna have to read about. They took the Jinn from Jasper, put it in Abaddon, and now Abaddon is really her friend. Now this is interesting because clearly Abaddon has is the demon wolf that had the really bad situation with the family for a long time. Remember, that's how the demon war even halfway started, was because of him. But then she ends up finding out why. Selene took her through some stuff because she got something happened where she went to sleep and Selene showed her some stuff. So, she was able to convey that to the family so that they could, like, I don't know, eventually walk into some healing, because they fairies anyway, and they gonna forgive. I don't know, but you have to read the book, figure that part out, right? All in all, I'm gonna tell you right now, they got together, they won some spats, they got officially married, and then they had a baby, you know what I'm saying? And apparently this chick was already pregnant when she got kidnapped by Erebus, who they would call a Wicker, and he was like, I don't even like that name. So, and then Erebus was really trying to get at Achen, thinking that she was a part of Achen, but she really wasn't. So Achen, remember that Achen is a part of the cousin. Aiken was a part of the other cousin that's over there with the dragons. That's the demigod, fairy, or whatever. We got Lucy losing a part of her, and she was like okay with that. And I don't know would I be okay with that if I was used to it. But I guess, I don't know if I would be like asking my grandfather, like, can you like go ahead and grant me another one? The fact that she had to get saved by the deity that was over the vampires, that's important because, this daggone dark whatever was basically brutally beating the crap out of her because she was not breaking for him enough. Him thinking that she's somebody else, of course. And him, I mean, we got to understand some of these energies are so freaking strong that you need to find another energy that is equally as strong to assist you in the fight. I don't know what to tell you about that. All I'm gonna say is these books do be bringing out some of the stuffs, and whoever J.M. Snap is snapping dapping and bringing out some stuff in the form of fiction. Think about it like this is the constant theme in these books. At the fact, and I feel like that's the lesson in it. Like, if you are strong, nobody can really truly wholeheartedly get at you unless they are stronger or equally as strong or whatever to give you a fair fight. I mean, a wincy dency is just not gonna do nothing but pinch you, and you'll barely feel it. So, think about it in whatever way that you want to think about it. In any capacity of physical, practical, movement, as well as unseen movement, and move it along like that. Okay. Um, so yeah. Bottom line, this was a good book. It did end well. It got you engaged. This thing got you engaged where it got you thinking a little bit like, okay, so I don't know. It wasn't all over the place, so it wasn't so bad where I didn't want to listen to it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It kept me going. I didn't want to understand their soul connection, their bond. I ain't gonna lie, sometimes this stuff be making you want that. Like, if you ain't got it, you want it. You're like, I want that. I want a soul connection. I apologize. I felt like I was a little wind down a little bit, like, oh boy. But yeah, I mean, it make you want to go, I want that. I want all this romance. I want somebody to say, you mine to hold, mine to touch, mine to kiss, mine to fuck. That's what they say in the books. Hey. I ain't make it up. That's what they said. Especially the werewolves. Boy, they be having it going on. This stuff be making you want to go there. Like, wait a minute, is this like a, I know this is a book, but can it really be a chance just for me? That's what you be trying to sing, Can I have all the things my soul needs? Anyway, I just don't go with the background music I'm putting on there. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, get the book on We Hear or Dream FM, I'm sure. Enjoy, it or whatever. It's a part of the whole Doctor series or what have you, from Dr. Luna on down. And it is The Vampire's Promised Bride. They went through it with the treaty. Celine and them made sure that it happened. Celine and Enderman or whatever, remember when they had to go get her boo thing? Yeah. You gotta actually get to that other book so you'll find out what I mean about Celine boo thing. And Callie brother, like, what's up with that? Okay, y'all. Messing up people's lives for your own benefits. And that's why I say JM got it, like, these deities be just all up in your grill. But then all of a sudden she's like, but you're my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I was being selfish. You know what I'm saying? You get to the point now you in the books going, okay, Celine, what's good? You know what I'm saying? But all them other books with the werewolves, you like, Celine is all like, oh, and what's going on? And this is the fairies and the metals and the petals. And I'm here only to give you this. And you should understand. Some of these books, they be like, all right, Celine, girl, what's up and why? Because this ain't. They be like, okay, Celine, this is unfair. Why are you doing this to me? This is all stupid. And then you do kind of wonder, like, what is the method to the madness? Like, you know, all of a sudden, you know, you got this made. And it's like, okay, so maybe you got, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, maybe you got this from the beginning of time. And then all of a sudden, you know, because you got free will, you know, this person, they can be how they're going to be, right? Because they can be how they want to be. Like, they can decide to be evil, or they could decide to stay good and sweet. They could decide to take chances, or they could decide to do nothing. And then with all of that, because this was already destined at the beginning, like, okay, I'm going to create this person, and I'm going to create this person, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to match this up. But then in the event that this doesn't work out, we got second chances. Now, and I like these books with the second chances. Why? Because it only makes sense. Why do I have to be plagued to have nobody if I'm being crapped on, beaten, abused, don't nobody like me, I'm feeling unloved, I'm ready to go die, and then all of a sudden, and I get rejected? Oh, the horror. And then you make it so this pull is just so strong. So now with the pull is so strong, and you trying to get out of it. I mean, it makes for good writing for a lot of people, but the way it's described and the way that it goes about, it's just really interesting. I mean, in some ways you kind of like it. It's like, okay, but in some ways you're like, man, this ain't right. And I can understand how in a situation of that, you like, man, I don't like this. I don't like this person or that person. This ain't right. But thank goodness for second chances, right? Thank goodness, because you ain't got no second chance and you just be sitting there forlorn. And then I guess that's where you get into the whole chosen thing. Now, it does seem like, now I don't do too much vampire stuff, but it does seem like they do a lot more choosing than fated, and the fated thing is a werewolf thing. I don't know. I really wish I could get into some of these folkloric, you know, facts. You know what I mean? I'm really looking at this like, oh, where to get these damn folklore facts? Because I wrote the same. I don't know if anybody else know, but, you know what I'm saying? Point me to the library. Let me see what's good. As a writer, it is your world, your universe. You create it the way that you want. And I see that a lot of people are creatively doing their thing. Some people are, you know, write things that's really fast, write things that's really slow. They do what they want, and I'm here for it. It was a good book, The Vampire's Promise Bride by J.M. Snap. It was good. And just to let you know, all background music that I put on here is my music. I am a producer as well as a singer-songwriter. I play the ukulele, I play the guitar, and I play my voice. Ooh. So I don't know, maybe one day, well, maybe one of these things I'll sing it through. I don't know. I might.